What's up, guys? Welcome back to Quake Combat. Today I have a very special guest here. This is Gracie. This is very, very cool to have here. She's been in New Zealand for quite a while now, and she's just really knowledgeable about flexibility, range of motion, and especially specific to jiu-jitsu, because that's like, the family sport and tradition for them. So I'm pretty excited to have her in here today, and she's going to help us out with hips, hamstrings, everything really, shoulder mobility. So I'm just going to let her take over because I don't really know what I'm talking about because I'm not very flexible. So
thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I really appreciate it. So let's get started with what is flexibility. So flexibility is another word for range of motion, and range of motion is the movement that your body can do. So if we're just standing here and we want to bring our heels to our butt, that is the movement from our knee, so that requires flexibility in our quad. The other day I was actually somewhere and I heard someone say, oh, flexibility is not important to jiu-jitsu. And I bit my tongue to say, you've never seen choke? Yeah. You never saw my dad do this? Or spend hours on the beach doing this? You've got to be kidding me. Don't tell me flexibility is not important. So flexibility is very important, not only for jiu-jitsu, for stand-up, for all things, but most importantly for our life and for enjoying everything that we like to do. So today I'd like to start off by just talking about what are the limitations in flexibility for our body. So the first limitation that you may have is your bone structure. The second limitation would be your ligaments and your tendons. The third would be your actual muscles, and then your fat. So what do I mean? When we're born, we're actually already born perfect. It's incredible. You see Miley, she's got her perfect little baby squats. I'm sure she stands up. How does she stand up?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm super jealous. Every day she's like doing something that I just can't even do close to. We're talking about my daughter and like our baby's born just super flexible and untouched, and then we just develop into these sedentary, rigid humans.
So your bone structure, there's nothing really that you can do about it. So your bone would be here, all that good stuff. Your ligaments and your tendons, some great things to use to stretch those are places, you can use that one, it's less painful. The places that you have like fascias would be the side here, would be the back of your leg here. So anytime that you can roll over, your ligaments attach bone to bone. Your tendons attach bone to muscle. So there's not really that much like stretching in those areas, but you can loosen them up by doing these deep fascious areas. And you just move around, rotate, till you find the spot. Some spots are more uncomfortable, etc. One of my favorite tools is the lacrosse ball. If you're a champ, and the tennis ball if you're warming up. So like the places I get really tight are like right here, and I don't know how to stretch that, so you can just roll right over, the ball on those spots. So these are excellent tools for your fascious tissues. The great thing about the next part is our muscles. So I had the privilege of meeting this guy in Brazil who did research to prove that your muscles have an endless capacity to stretch and to gain flexibility. So I hear people say, I'm not flexible, I don't want to do this, I'm not flexible. Well, you can get flexible. Just like everything else, if you're not moving forward, you're subsequently moving back. So you want to be progressing at a slow level if that's the case, but you don't want to stop because then you're just going to tighten up. There are two types of exercises that we can do for flexibility today. One is the static, which is to hold something. So if you're just hanging here and you're just holding, this is my natural flexibility level. This is where I start from. This is where we say is our warm-up phase. So this is where I'm just relaxing, I'm just hanging out. You can wiggle. Every time you exhale, you want to give yourself a deeper breath.
and you're just getting, see how every time I exhale I drop a little more? That's just me getting to my max. I haven't even gotten there yet. So this is what we consider a warm-up for stretching. All right, good, take a little break.
So if you think about flexibility as any other kind of workout, there's the sub-max and the max. When you are doing the sub-max, you are just retaining what you have.
Okay.
And when you are doing the max, that's when you're gaining more muscle mass, if it's in a weight training, or you're ripping the titaniums to create more flexibility if it's in stretching.
Okay.
So, for example, if you're just warming up, you have a fight, you don't want to go into a max workout. You're not going to go heavy lift training and then go fight. So that would be the kind of just loosening up.
Yeah.
Whatever you can do, that's just loosening you up to where you're already comfortable.
Yeah.
Then you want to get into the max workout. And for the max workout, it really takes relaxation, which takes breath, which then creates the flexibility that you want. So, how are we going to demonstrate that? We're going to demonstrate that today for you just laying down. Now, Brad claims to not be very flexible, but we're going to show you otherwise. So, if I don't do anything, he's just relaxed, I feel like this is about the spot that he's at.
So as you guys can see, Kwan finds the first sign of tension in my leg and my hamstring. She has hold on my heel here. I'm trying to keep my left leg flat on the ground and not let it raise. I'm trying to keep my right leg locked out, my knee locked, so that my hamstring gets the full stretch that Kwan is trying to give it. And she slowly starts to push my leg towards my head. She gives my foot a jiggle, as you can see, just trying to encourage the muscle to relax. I'm just lying on the mat, trying to melt into the mat, relax to the best of my ability, and I'm talking to my muscles in my head. I'm telling them to relax, that everything's okay. You're not gonna snap, even though it probably feels like it's gonna snap.
So all of that was just to get us to his real flexibility, which is right here. So it took him this much time to relax. See how now your leg is over the line of your hip. From here, let's give him a little more flexibility. So now I want you to short exhales.
Also, the little exhales that she had me do there at the end, just to gain that little bit of extra flexibility, really helped the muscle relax and get that last bit of stretch that I would never normally get. I'm not too sure why it works, to be honest, but it really did help. I just did short little exhales and relaxed, and then my muscle managed to stretch a little bit further and gain a little more elasticity.
So that was a static way. We got to his max, and then we pushed him a little bit to gain more flexibility. He probably feels a little sore. Sometimes you stretch and you're like, dang, I feel a little mushy. That's the tear.
It feels pretty good though.
How far did you lay? You're doing those high kicks now. Okay, hold on, stay there. We got one more to do.
I'll go this way, so yeah.
So for this one, what we're gonna do is a different aspect, which is based off of our reflexes. You have a natural reflex. Sorry, hold on. If you're gonna walk down the street and you kick a pole, the first reflex is to tense, and you contract and you'll knock the thing over. If you go and it's a big post and you can't knock it over, the second reflex is to release and relax. So that's why some people do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So in this case, we're playing off of that reflex, which there is a specific name. I just don't remember it right now. And this one will last a little bit longer, a little bit less time for his life. Okay, so what we do here is he's going against me. I'm pushing him, he's pushing me down. We're fighting. Ready? Go. So I'm pushing, push harder. That's all you got, buddy. Come on. Those strong farmer legs. And release. And So this one won't last as long. Anything done quickly doesn't last as long, right? This one will last a little bit longer, and both of them need to be done regularly.
Do you I was gonna ask you. I remember when we were up north, you were saying about like don't force it to where your breathing becomes irregular. Like if you're doing like a static stretch, just to do like a relaxing one. Like if you start to force it and you lose like regularity in your breathing, it's like because it hurts. Do you think that's like an okay way to stretch? And
When you're losing your breath while you're stretching.
yeah.
So I think that has to do with number one, how advanced or not you are to know your own body.
Yeah.
But for example, like I'm here, I'm comfortable. I'm here, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. Then it starts to get a little tight. So then you wanna. But what the real truth is, you don't want to hold your breath. If you hold your breath, then you're tensing, and that counters everything that is flexibility and stretching. So a lot of people, they'll get to a position, whatever, they're here and they're really tight, and then they're like,
Yeah, that's me everywhere.
so then you have to find a way to, and those sound effects will help you, because really what that is the air coming out and letting you relax deeper into it.
Okay.
And those sounds will come out because you're in pain, right? I do that all the time. The more you can breathe, every time you exhale, it's impossible to exhale and create tension. So when you exhale, you can be tense and exhale, but you can't and tense from an exhale. You have to inhale to
So
tense
breathe,
up.
not holding your breath. Yeah.
Every time you exhale, that's the release. It's like the natural animal releasing everything